Strike in Yemen. I'm joined now by the Conservative MP and the chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, Alicia Kearns. Good evening to you. Alicia, look, this is a global shipping route. It impacts international trade. Why on earth, yet again, is it us, the UK, following inches away from America, being the first ones to get involved?
So the UK is one of the foremost maritime nations. We have one of the best royal navies in the world, and we work in concert with our US allies. The reality is it is a British Royal Navy warship that was attacked by the Houthis. It is one of the worst attacks on a British warship in decades. I think it is not only right that we are stepping forward, but we also have the capability and the intelligence to be able to do so.
But Alicia, this primarily and predominantly, even according to Rishi Sunak's statement, is about the global trade. It's not necessarily about the warships. So I'll ask my question again. Why do we feel the need to be at the forefront, let's face it, potentially at the risk of UK citizens in this country, to be at the forefront of this military action?
So there's, to one point, the fact that we host the International Maritime Organization that is based here in the UK, where we lead on it. Secondly, as I said, we have the maritime capabilities. Third, we have the intelligence capabilities. Fourthly, we have the will. And fifthly, we are a member of the UN Security Council. I am proud of the fact that the UK is stepping up to do so, because let's be clear, yes, the impact it's taking place in the Red Sea, but the impact of this maritime space being blocked up would be felt globally. The UK has the ability, it has the duty, and I'm proud that we are doing this. It is the right thing to do, and we have the capability to do it.
But it's also made us here in this country less safe, hasn't it?
So, no, I think we have to be really careful about this. So the Houthis do not have the ability to force project into the UK that we are aware of at this time. The Iranians, there is a consistent threat here. I think we have to be very careful about not allowing ourselves to be cowed by terrorist groups. The reality is the Houthis have continued to cause a problem. They attacked a Royal Navy warship. We have the capability to tackle them, and frankly, we have the duty to be able to do so and take action.
And you say the action, I was looking at one of your previous interviews today on this, you say that the action that we take needs to be limited, whereas President Biden, he's basically saying that, yes, we've taken this action and we will continue taking action if it's necessary. So what does that mean? Every time the US continues striking, are we instantly behind them?
No, so look, all of this action was a preventative. It's not punitive. The goal is to re-establish deterrence. We have warned the Houthis, and they've undertaken 26 attacks since November. We have warned them consistently that there will be action if they do not de-escalate and do not stop. We have seen the opposite. They have hijacked ships, they attack the Royal Navy, they are escalating. I have said that I support something that is necessary, proportionate and legal, and it's focused on the preventative. So the US, of course, will continue to monitor. The UK government for now has said that we have completed this operation, but they have left the door open for further action if it is required. But what we all want to see is that this would have hopefully knocked out a significant amount of the Houthis' capability, and we will now see a significant reduction in the types of operations they conduct and the type of terror attacks that they are launching.
But the Houthis can't be that bothered. Our efforts can't have been that impactful, because already today there's been an additional strike.
So, first of all, we don't know what the impact of that strike was. We don't know if it could have been far more significant. We don't know if we've reduced what their plans were. Only those with access to the intelligence will know. But it's not a surprise that the Houthis would try to launch some sort of immediate response to try and show that they haven't been cowed. It's about the long term, seeing what happens over the next few days and the next few weeks. And hopefully we will have had that effect. Deterrence will come back into place, and we will see freedom of navigation return to protect not only the rights of those businesses and navies and others who are transversing through that space, but also to protect our economy and to reduce the risk to us from terrorist groups.
And when you listen to the Houthis about why they're doing this, they believe that there is a genocide being committed in Gaza. Do you share that opinion, that there is a genocide happening in Gaza, essentially committed by Israel?
I don't believe a genocide is taking place, but beyond this, the Houthis have no interest in Palestine or Gaza. We need to be really careful not to allow their narrative that they are, well, a charade really, that they are conducting. They've done this before. During the Arab Spring, they pretended to be interested in democracy and taking part in that movement. Their goal is to sow chaos. Their goal is to pursue their own interest, to pursue power. And for example, what we were seeing was potentially them trying to control that strait so that they could tax it perhaps to secure an income, or just so that they could hijack ships and take the products on them. The Houthis are no friends to the Palestinians. They have never acted in their interest. They are an apocalyptic terrorist group solely interested in themselves and the destruction of Israel.
My last question to you. In this country, we apparently can't afford to pay our doctors more money. We apparently can't afford to help the most needy in society. But yet again, it's been announced today that another £2.5 billion worth of our money is going over to Ukraine, something I know that you passionately support. Why have we got a bottomless pit for foreign conflicts rather than money to spend here?
Well, let's be very clear. Junior doctors have had, on average, a 10% pay increase. Doctors have so teachers have had their highest pay increase on record. We've never had more money into the NHS or the education system. There are commitments being made and being delivered on. But you cannot have economic security. We cannot have security at home unless we have that national security in place. Ukraine is fighting for all of our freedoms, not just theirs. And if anyone is under the impression that Russia was going to stop in Ukraine had we not intervened, they are wrong. Ukraine is fighting for our freedoms. We must prevent Russia now, or we will feel the impact, not least in our economy in the way that we already have and are slowly coming through. Again, the UK has had the best recovery so far of any G7 country, but we would see far more beyond that. They are fighting for our freedoms. You have to have national security to have any sort of stability or economic security.
And is there a bottomless pit of money then for these kind of things?
No, of course there's not. We have a commitment to how much we're going to spend on defence. That's around 2.5% of GDP. We are supporting our allies where we are. But we can either choose to not give the Ukrainians what they need and to keep doing what we have been doing, which is just enough for them to get through the next 3 to 6 months, and this will drag on and on and on, or we can give the Ukrainians what they need to win and to drive out Russia and to end the conflict that is not only taking lives on a daily basis, but is causing economic implications for us here in the UK and for families who want to see an end to the war and an end to the crisis and the impact it's having on their pockets.
But the end to the war, Alicia, sorry to push on this, it's not coming anytime soon. And when you listen to the narrative from our leaders, it is, we'll support you for as long as it takes until the end. So my question again, have we literally got a bottomless pit for however long? If this war continues for the next decade, is it UK hands in UK pockets to fund this?
Yeah. Let's be very clear. What we are contributing, it would be costing us a lot more if Russia was having success for this. There are some countries in Europe who are contributing 1.6% of their GDP to help prevent this war getting worse. It is not a bottomless pit. It is defence of our allies. It's defence of the rule of law and order. And let me be very clear, on the UK, we are delivering on the commitments that have been asked of us. Anyone sat at home and works in a private business will be going, the government's found almost a 9 to 10% pay increase for junior doctors. I wish I'd had something like that. They found the highest pay increase for 30 years for teachers. I wish I was having something like that. The government is delivering at home, but defence is not an option. It's not a nice to have. It's not a waste of money. It's what keeps us safe in this country and allows us to go to work and live those lives in safety.